We had reports that bandits have reportedly killed 6 and adopted several others in Kallah Afogo Community, Kajuru local government area of Kaduna State. Now, the locals reported that the bandits attacked the village about 11:15 p.m. on Sunday. They broke into houses and went away with the locals, also killed a local who pursued them into the bush. The bandits launched another attack on Bakinpa in Mara ward of the same council, where 1 person was killed and 6 others adopted. The State Police Command was yet to react to the incident. Meanwhile, 2 nurses and a number of patients at the primary health care center in Kuyelo, Bernin, Gwari local government area of the state were also adopted after, according to a local, they initially targeted the nearby government day secondary school, arriving at 9 a.m. On that day. When they found the school empty, they turned their attention to the healthcare center located in close proximity. The Kaduna State Police Command spokesman was yet to react to inquiries on the incident at press time. Like I said, this story is a very sad one. To think that they actually first went to a school, a primary school, and when they noticed that the school was locked, the students were not available, they went to a hospital to kidnap nurses and patients. This is something that should really be looked into, and this is not one of those stories that you just want to bypass, because at this point you just know that more measures need to be taken to make sure that we stop having cases like this, because people no longer feel safe, especially in some of these states. I don't want to just say in the north now, but yes, that's where we've been having cases of banditry a lot in Nigeria. Now patients were adopted, nurses were adopted. Let's get your thoughts on this story.
As a matter of fact, I'm calling on the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Mr. Ahmed Tinubu, to resign honorably.
Why? Why would you say that?
Because he swore an oath to protect lives and properties. And it's becoming unbecoming that the level and state of insecurity in the north is becoming too hyper. Looking at people from the north, you look at it, it's beginning to affect food.
Yes.
There's food crisis.
But this is
now
not
looking
new.
at
banditry is not new.
No, it's not
and
new.
It didn't start with this administration either.
Now you see, banditry is getting more sophisticated by the day and by the hour.
Okay.
People are no longer safe in the north. If you are given 1 billion naira today, can you go and invest in the north? Well, looking at the human capacity, looking at the environmental factors, with all of that. Now this brings me to the service chiefs. How were they appointed? We have the Air Force, we have the Navy, we have the police, we have the army. Now, at what point will bandits come to a school or a hospital, carry out a raid for hours without an iota of fear? There was a place I went to for a talk show, and we spoke extensively on this. The schools just resumed for a new academic section, and people are going to pay fees. Now, what do they do with these fees? Is it just towards just payment of staff salaries? What of humanitarian services? What of other menial services around the school arena? And I think if you go to the rural areas, you see thatch houses where they use as schools, and they'll say this is government approved everywhere. Now, at what point does the Ministry of Education approve such schools? If you look at their signboard, you will see international. Look at that word in retrospect, international. That is nation by nation. It means you are meeting national standard. Is it not? Looking at it from that angle now,
so
do you think it will be very? Do you think it will be okay if they channel part of these monies into security.
So if the president resigning will solve this problem, you see that as a solution to this problem?
Definitely, if you are incapacitated to rule the country, step aside. After all, someone in the likes of the in the likes of the president of the United States of America is stepping aside for someone else because he knows that he does not have what it takes to phantom good and transient leadership come next year.
Due to his health.
Due to his health. Not just health, but also age. No, if you look at it health-wise, taking it from the health-wise now, the more you age, the more your level of thought retards. If you are 70 and above, you start acting like a baby.
Not in all cases anyway.
Not in all cases, you know, but in most cases. I'm not saying he suffered from dementia, but I think in Nigeria, where we have people in the academia, people that knows what it takes to rule a nation, people that has the people at heart, this will not happen. Do you know that Nigeria is at war? We're at war.
How are we at war?
For every day you sleep and wake up and you're alive, you say, thank you, my Savior. Because now, you can wake up in the morning and you are hearing that people are dying in their hundreds in the north. Is that not war? It is just that there is no battle involved. Now, you wake up in the morning. When was the last time that you woke up and you had a news that gladdened your heart as a Nigerian, as an individual?
You haven't had any news that gladdened your heart down to the minimum wage approval. It didn't gladden your heart.
A minimum wage
Local government autonomy did not gladden your heart.
No, please, let's not use that terminology anymore. Minimum wage. That thing is slave wage, because the money does not even leave your desk before you go home. Because most of these workers are always they are always indebted. I have a neighbor that owes so much that his money does not even get home at the end of the month.
So before he ends his salary, he's owing the full salary.
He's owing, because he has 3 kids. He must pay for fees. They must feed. The issue of transportation is there. So what is 70,000 naira to such a man? That is why I kept urging people to think out of the box, because hunger can bring out the other side of you. That from time to time, I've seen Nigerians that are suffering in different spectrum go extra length to make a living. This is where I feel the government ought to come in. You know, they should embark on a rescue mission to rescue the ordinary Nigerian from the melancholies of what is being faced us now. Because in due time, Nigerians won't be able to take it no more. And what I'm seeing brewing us in the face is something that people won't be able to take over time. The president has not gone 2 years. He has 2 years more. And they believe everybody that comes in as a president must stay 8 years. Look at what we are facing in just a little while.
Whose belief is that every president that comes in must stay 8 years?
The political stalwarts, their cabals.
Okay, that's you're talking about. That's why that's the reason they want to come back sometimes.
That is it.
Okay, because last we checked, it's 4 years.
Yes, 4 plus 4 is 8. That's it. So they believe they have what it takes to. Obasanjo tried it. He wanted a lifetime presidency. Did it work? No.
Let's go back to banditry now.
Going back to
and look at how you think we can come. You have talked about the president resigning, but before we have that, which we never heard the federal government tell us the president is planning to resign. So before then, what do you think can be done currently?
For every problem, there ought to be a solution. Like I said, the globe, the world is no longer medieval. You know, we've surpassed the medieval era. We've gone from the analog state to the digital stage. Wherefore, I believe with science and technology, we ought to employ all we can to make sure we bring banditry to its barest minimum, if not eradicated. Because the government policies can co-host with the locals, with foreign counterparts in regards to technology. For instance now, if we have CCTVs everywhere in a state, and there's a budget for that, with power inclusive, because you can't have a footage if there's no power in place. Look at what happened in Borno State. Their dam just collapsed, ravaging 70% of a full state, submerged. No? And these dams, I believe, could have been transformed into hydropower, electricity, right? But because of the powers that be that wouldn't want to do this, summing up all of these, if we have CCTVs, they should make every establishment in the whole of Nigeria own a CCTV system, then put security measures in place by also co-hosting with the locals technologically, then putting communication gadgets on ground. It's not all about carrying.
You think we don't have these things? You think we don't have communication gadgets? How do you think we go about our intelligence gathering in the first place? And then secondly, how much political will do you think is available to carry out, more measures or more stringent measures to put an end to banditry in Nigeria?
You see, when the military wants to work, they will work. If you put a price tag on a criminal today, you will see that they will bring out that person in 3 weeks. Likewise, if you want to put an end to banditry, we will put an end to banditry. I have seen a video clip of the vice president having a talk with bandits. And they were even feeding together. They were feasting.
Where did you see that video?
That was prior to the 2023 election. Our vice president.
Okay, I never saw that video. So
I
can't even consent to that statement right now.
I will send them to you.
And until we actually see that video,
so that you can see it as fact. I won't come on air not to substantiate whatever I am saying here. Because whatever I say, like the police will always say, will and can be used against me, right? Like, I feel our government factors are putting square pegs in round holes. Look at the FCT minister today. During his campaign, he made pronouncements. He said, if elected as the president, that he had the wherewithal to bring banditry, hostage taking, and all of that to its barest minimum. What was he saying?
So the measures that the federal government has taken towards doing that, you don't see that as viable?
They are not viable.
That can be maintained?
At all.
Or that will bring out results?
At all. Like I said before now, putting square pegs in round holes. To me, I believe the FCT minister ought not to even occupy that seat. Do you know why I'm saying this? Making such pronouncement now, he would have been given an office as a minister under the auspice of whatever he has said, so that he can go and take. He wants to fight.
Is the FCT minister in charge of security in Nigeria?
He's not. That is why
I said. So why are we mentioning the FCT minister?
He should be put in such an office. If you tell the people that you have what it takes to stop this, why not put the person there, empower him to do it? Put him there.
So you're canvassing for the FCT minister
to
do insecurity in Nigeria?
He said he can now. If he says you can, then put him there, let him go and fight. He said he had what it takes to bring Sambisa down. and bring any living creature out.
All right. Let's move on to the next story now until we actually have, you know, facts to back up all these statements.